What's up, guys? Today we're going to be reacting to her story. It's supposedly the new channel of his story, and let's just see what it's all about. Here we go. Just click that real quick. Oh wait, my headphone.
I walked into cheer practice at my new school, and every girl stopped stretching, and I felt everyone's eyes judging how my body looked. So I forced myself to stand straight and look confident. But when I heard the cheer captain whisper to the girl beside her, "What is someone like her doing here?" I knew I had to prove myself. I opened with a front aerial into a back handspring. A few girls glanced up, but the captain just murmured, "Show off." So I went bigger and did a 360 backflip with a twist and landed with a perfect landing. I scanned the girls and saw their faces twitch, doing their best not to seem impressed. I was standing there trying to figure out how to be accepted by the team when I heard a squeaking sound. I turned around and saw the cheer captain and her friend crouched at the landing beam, twisting a bolt loose and laughing, thinking that no one could see them. They wanted me to use that next and injure myself. I frantically turned to tell the coach, but she was staring straight at them, and when they were done, she just rolled her eyes and looked down at her clipboard. She didn't even care. I clenched my fists because I was done trying to win them over. Instead, I was going to win for me. The coach called my name. "Leah, I need to see you walk the beam." I walked to the loose beam, the bolt still crooked. All the girls giggled, and the cheer captain was laughing the loudest. "This is gonna be good." I ran, hit the beam, and it kicked out from under me just like they'd planned, but I was midair and didn't fall. Instead, I rode the drop into an extra rotation and stuck it so hard the mat shook. The beam clattered to the floor. I'd used their prank to make myself look better. The entire gym went silent, and the cheer captain was red with anger. The coach shot up from her chair. Suddenly, there was a clapping by the door. We all turned and she spoke. "The cheerleading board heard the best gymnast in the state transferred to this school, and they sent me to watch." She nodded at me. That was the most impressive performance I'd ever seen. She turned to the cheer captain. "We are always looking for women like Leah who can improvise under unexpected circumstances." The cheer captain's mouth opened in shock, and I grinned and hugged her with a fake smile. "You helped someone like me look impressive here." My voice dripped with sarcasm. "I owe you one." I walked into cheer practice at my new school, and every girl stopped stretching, and I felt everyone's eyes. A restaurant owner banned foster kids and made them cry, so I made sure he cried even harder. I walked into a restaurant with a "Kids Eat Free" sign on the wall with 15 foster kids. The server looked at all of them. "Are these all your kids?" "No, I work with a foster program. We take them out to eat." She gave me a dirty look and walked away.
Let's go.
No.
All around the world. Let's go. All around the world. Y'all know this is so.
I was 3 weeks into my sentence at a Mexican prison.
Let's go. All around the world. Y'all know this is so.
Yeah, lock in, bro. Lock in.
A restaurant owner banned foster kids and made them cry, so I made sure he cried even harder. I walked into
Why did you just kick him in the air like that? What the heck? Boom! Should get him with a left hook.
a restaurant with a "Kids Eat Free" sign on the wall with 15 foster kids. The server looked at all of them. "Are these all your kids?" "No, I work with a foster program. We take them out to eat." She gave me a dirty look and walked away. One kid tugged my sleeve. "Can I get chicken fingers and fries?" I smiled. "Get whatever you want." That was just the beginning. The kids ordered everything with smiles on their faces. Burgers, chicken tenders, milkshakes. By the third round of plates, the server was slamming the food down on the table like she was annoyed by them. Then I caught the owner peeking at us from behind the kitchen door. The owner marched out. "We're not a daycare. You and those kids need to leave." The kid next to me pointed at the sign. "But it says Kids Eat Free. We're kids." The owner pulled out his phone and called the cops. He told them, "A crazy woman brought 20 kids off the street and they're cleaning out my kitchen." The cop showed up and looked at the kids eating. He looked at me. "Ma'am, he wants you to leave. To avoid conflict, I'd suggest finding somewhere else." We got up. The kid who ordered chicken fingers and fries was still eating. She had to put her plate down. As we walked out, the owner stood at the door. "Get out, and don't ever bring those unfortunate kids back here again." The kids started crying. The owner laughed at them, but I knew what I had to do to teach him a lesson. That week, I called every foster program, group home, and kid program in the city. I told them all, "There's a restaurant with a Kids Eat Free sign. Bring every kid you have this Saturday." That Saturday, I brought my 15 foster kids and waited with them outside to watch everything go down. By 1 o'clock, there was a crowd of kids chanting, "Kids Eat Free," outside demanding chicken nuggets. Buses from group homes were pulling in. The owner came outside sweating. "Where are all these kids coming from? Get out!" A counselor pointed at his sign. "Kids Eat Free. We brought kids." The owner looked around at hundreds of kids flooding his restaurant. He curled into a ball and started crying. Then the kid from my program walked right up to him. "Can I get another plate of chicken fingers and fries?" A restaurant owner banned foster kids. I was putting sunscreen on my 7-year-old.
Wait, that's the same.
A restaurant owner banned foster kids and made them cry. I was putting sunscreen on my 7-year-old at the pool when I spotted a man sitting alone. No towel, no bag, no child with him, just sitting there with his eyes fixed on the water. When my daughter ran toward the shallow end, he stood up and walked slowly along the pool, following her path. I quickly grabbed her hand. "Stay with me." The mom next to me already had her phone out, snapping a picture of him. "He was here last Saturday too," she said quietly. He kept moving slowly around the pool, stopping wherever the younger kids were playing. I watched him crouch down near the shallow end and stare at a group of kids. A little boy waved at him, and he did not wave back, just kept staring. "He has been staring at my daughter in her bathing suit for 20 minutes, the mom next to me whispered. Her hand went to her phone. "I'm calling the cops. He's not right." I pulled my daughter closer and watched him scan the water. Then he sprinted toward the shallow end. He jumped in fully clothed and came up holding a little girl who'd gone under near the drain. I scanned the chairs. None of the other parents had seen her go under. He got her to the wall and held her there. The little girl's mom ran over and pulled her out, sobbing. "Thank you. Oh my God, thank you so much." He climbed out of the pool and put his hand on her shoulder. "Don't thank me. I'm here every Saturday, keeping an eye on the kids. My daughter drowned at this pool 2 years ago. I never want another parent to go through what I went through." He turned back to the water. I was putting sunscreen on my 7-year-old at the
That's a happy
Ty
ending
loves to
right there.
dance.
Happy
My
ending.
sister and I were home alone when someone pounded on the front door. "I'm your neighbor. Someone's breaking into your car right now." I cracked the door open and the man craned his neck, looking straight past me into the house. I slammed it shut and locked it, and when I turned around, my sister was already pulling at my arm, white as a sheet. She dragged me to the window, and her ex was standing in the yard, staring up at the house. She'd broken up with him months ago, but he never stopped showing up, and now he was here the same night a stranger had pounded on our door. It was just the two of us in that house, and keeping my sister safe was on me. I pulled her back from the glass and tried calling our parents, but it went to voicemail, so I talked fast and told them to get home right now. When I looked back, the yard was empty, and that was somehow worse than watching him stand there. A second later, every light in the house cut out at once, and I knew he'd left to do it. I turned on my phone flashlight just as the back door handle started rattling hard. We ran for the kitchen, and I pulled the broom off the wall, the only thing close enough to grab. That was when a voice came from the other side of the front door, calm and even, like he had all the time in the world. It was the man who said he was our neighbor, but he wasn't talking to us. He was talking to the ex, telling him to hurry. The car was never real. They had been working together from the very first knock. The banging started on the kitchen window right behind us, and my sister was sobbing as I planted my feet and held the broom out in front of us like it could stop anything. The front door splintered, and the man from the porch came through first, then froze when he saw the broom in my hands. In the same second, the kitchen window shattered behind us, and the ex climbed through with a bat, ignoring me completely and going straight for my sister. I swung the broom anyway, knowing it couldn't stop a thing, but then headlights poured through the broken doorway and flooded the room white. The ex turned toward the light, and I cracked the handle across the back of his head as hard as I could. He dropped. My dad came through the door a breath later and put the man from the porch on the floor before he could move. He crossed the kitchen and took the broom out of my hands. "You're both safe now." He pulled both of us into a hug while my hands continued to shake. My sister and I were home alone when someone pounded.
W dad. W dad.
I was Irish dancing at the St. Patrick's Day Parade when a random woman threw an egg at my face. I instantly stopped dancing to see who it was, and when we locked eyes, the woman started screaming, "You slept with my husband!" Before I could defend myself against this stranger, everyone in the crowd had their phones out recording. The woman immediately spun to face them like she'd been waiting her whole life for this. "Look at her!" she shouted, pointing right at the phones. "Take a good look. This is what a homewrecker looks like."
Can I use Shopify to sell these cookies before they're done baking?
Ryan Trahan. He's him.
I'll list these cookies real quick and then ask Sidekick to let my...
Okay, I don't know.
The officer arrested me for a crime he never saw me commit. He walked up to me and pointed his finger across the street. "I just saw you do that. You're under arrest." I looked to where he was pointing, but saw a completely empty street, yet he was already pulling out handcuffs. I found myself in the back seat before I could even ask what I did, and my legs were shaking because something about this felt really wrong, but he had a badge. It had to be okay. I asked, "What did I do?" But instead of responding, he just laughed. "It's okay, sweetie. We're only going to the station. Just calm down." His voice terrified me, and I tried to wriggle my wrist free, but the metal only cut me. And when we reached the station, my face went completely pale. He wasn't pulling in. I began wondering if he was even a real officer and banged my cuffed wrists on the window. An officer near the station saw us and immediately flagged us down. That's when I saw the man driving visibly tense up and stare at me with a clenched jaw in the rear view. "Be quiet." My eyes widened and I fully realized he was a fake cop. A real one wouldn't be this nervous. He rolled down the window and I instantly screamed, "He's not a real cop. He arrested me for nothing. Please help." But he interrupted me. "I actually found her drunk and harassing families. I'm taking her home. She's She's right up the road. He reached out and shook the officer's hand. I'm new here, by the way. That's why you've probably never seen me. He sped off with a manic look in his eyes, and when I looked back, the other cop was squinting. We made a sharp turn, and that's when the man snapped. He threw off his fake cop hat and screamed, "You just had to blow it, didn't you? Now I can't even enjoy this." He accelerated fast, and I kept banging the window as we swerved into the woods. I was still screaming, "Help," when he ripped the back seat open and dragged me out. I hit the ground hard, my wrists still in handcuffs. He crouched over me with a grin, undid his fake police tie, and I cried, mentally accepting. My job interview was going fine until she leaned across the desk and asked, "What is your zodiac sign?" I'd been job hunting for a year and was 2 months from losing my apartment, so my brain panicked and I blurted the only sign I could remember. "I'm a Leo." "Oh, wonderful." She actually clapped her hands. "August birthday?" I had no idea. "The 15th?" I said it like a question. Her eyes lit up and she wrote something down with way too much excitement. I got the job. I looked it up at home and I'm actually a Scorpio. I figured it didn't matter and the zodiac thing was just her weird interview style, but I was very wrong about that. 8 months later, I had been promoted twice and put in charge of our biggest project because I had the right fake birthday. Then the company newsletter landed in my inbox with my real birthday printed next to my name, October 30th. I looked up from my screen and saw my boss already walking toward me holding a tray of crystals. She closed my office door. "You have been messing up the Leo energy for months, and now I know why." By lunch, she had given my entire project to the new guy who had started 2 weeks ago but had an August birthday. I sat at my desk staring at 8 months of my hard work being handed to someone else and then opened her horoscope website on my second screen. At the bottom was a small button, $10 to add your own daily message. I typed in my card number. I started simple. Past choices may need a second look. Then, trust your first instincts over new ones. I moved her crystals 2 inches every morning and left fortune cookies on her chair with vague warnings. The new guy kept breaking things, but she blamed it on bad planets. I paid $10 and typed, "Fixing recent mistakes brings peace to the universe." She called me into her office that day with shaking hands. "I made a mistake. I need you back on the project." I said yes and let her sage my office. Then I opened her site, typed "Generosity returns tenfold," and put in for a raise, $10 well spent. My job interview was going fine until she leaned across the desk and asked, "What is your..."
Why is someone commercials?
I laid in bed rewatching Aladdin for the 1000th time, but when I reached for my drink, my hands felt something other than my bottle, an old purple lamp I didn't recognize right where my Stanley was. I picked it up confused, then decided to rub it as a joke. I wish for my crush to like me back. I laughed and put it back on the shelf, then went back to watching the genie grant wishes to Aladdin. But when I walked into school next morning, my crush was standing by my locker and tossed me my favorite green apple. He pulled out a bouquet of roses from his back and asked me out. My face lit up and I immediately nodded. I got home that night on cloud 9, but then I saw the purple lamp on my desk. Something weird hit my chest, and I picked it up, thinking surely this was just a crazy coincidence. "Okay, Genie, I need $10,000 to buy a new car for my mom." I rubbed the lamp slowly. That night, while changing for bed, I opened my drawer to reach for my pajamas and nearly fell. Wads of cash stared at me in the face, carefully tucked between my bottoms. I immediately closed my door and grabbed the lamp with shaking hands, staring at it in amazement. I could wish for anything. I thought hard, then took a long, deep breath. I wished for a million more wishes. I put the lamp back on the shelf and put on Aladdin for the millionth time. The next day, I sprinted home from school, executed and grinning, but the lamp was gone. I checked my whole room and found nothing. My head dropped. But that night, while rewatching Aladdin, I reached for my Stanley, and that's when I felt it, a purple lamp that wasn't there before. I laid in bed rewatching Aladdin for the 1000th time, but when I reached for my drink, my stepsister stood up at our mom's birthday dinner, raised her glass, and said, "Here's to people who don't stab their own sisters in the back." Every head at the table turned to look at me. I picked up my own water glass and held it loosely between my fingers. Our mom's face froze mid-smile, our dad's hand stopped reaching for his wine, and Zach, my stepsister's boyfriend, stared at the tablecloth like he wanted to disappear into it. Jackie kept her glass in the air, waiting for me to crack. I'd spent 2 weeks knocking on her bedroom door while she slammed it in my face, ever since she decided I was sleeping with the boyfriend who kept canceling on her. I raised my glass back at her. I'd never touched him, and I had every text to prove it. "You want to make a toast? Okay, let's make a toast." I set my glass down and pulled my phone out of my purse. "To the flowers he asked me about because they're your favorite. To the ring he asked me about because he didn't know if you wanted round or square. To the restaurant he asked me about because he wanted to take you back to your first date." Jackie didn't lower her glass. "You're really going to stand there and make up text messages at mom's birthday?" Our mom took the phone out of my hand and started scrolling through the messages. Jackie's glass came down slowly. Zach pushed his chair back and stood up with his own glass. She's telling the truth. He pulled a small velvet box out of his jacket pocket and set it on the table next to his wine. "That's why I kept canceling on you. I was meeting her to plan it." Our dad lifted his glass too and looked straight at Jackie. "And you told the whole family she was sleeping with him." Jackie sat back down in her chair and put both hands over her mouth. Our mom slid the phone across the table to her so she could read the messages herself. Jackie read them and her shoulders started shaking. Zach didn't move toward her, didn't touch her shoulder, didn't say it was okay. He picked the velvet box up off the table, put it back in his pocket, and set his glass down down
Oh my
full.
God.
I need to think, he told her, and he walked out to the porch. Jackie looked at me across the centerpiece with her makeup running down her chin. I lifted my water glass one more time, this time toward her. Here's to people who ask questions before they make toasts. My stepsister stood up at our
Watch
No,
this.
I don't want to.
Check out.
Yeah.
Do you see that? That is
Yo! What happened?
I sat down in the empty
Okay.
row of the school bus, and the whispering started instantly. Why is she even coming on the school trip? Didn't her mom just die last week? I folded open the map of where we were going and started tearing up, because it was the same lake me and my mom used to go every year before she got cancer, and I knew I couldn't say no to coming. But now, curled up in the corner alone with my forehead pressed to the window, I had no idea how I was gonna survive 3 days in a place where every memory was her. We got off the bus to start the tour, and when I met our tour guide, his eyes were instantly filled with pity, and I knew the school had told him what happened too. So during lunch, I locked myself in the bathroom, sat on the sink, ready to fake being sick so I could go home. But out the window, there was the lake me and my mom used to swim in, where she'd squeeze my hands and say, "Be strong for me, baby." So I walked out and smiled through the boat safety talk, all to stay strong for my mom. And the harder I smiled, the more everyone kept their distance from me, like they were all waiting for something to happen that I didn't know about yet. At sunset, Ms. Alvarez led us into the rowboats, and when we made it to the middle of the lake, the tour guide took out a floating lantern and raised it to the sky. For a second, I closed my eyes to blink back the tears, because this was me and my mom's tradition every year. When I opened them, everyone around me had a floating lantern, and they were all staring at me. Did you guys do this for me? My teacher took my hands the same way mom used to. Your mom did this. She called the school a few months ago and planned the whole night, because the lanterns were your thing with her. She said you'd fake smile through the day to try and be strong, and told us to leave you alone until we got to the boats. The girl beside me pushed a lantern into my hands. We've been dying to hug you all day. The boat folded around me as I let mine go and watched it climb with the others. For the first time since the funeral, I wasn't at this lake without her. I sat down in the empty row of the school bus.
That was probably the best story that she got. That one was good. I'm not gonna lie.
My wife slid a manila envelope across her parents' dinner
But
table
this
and
is
said,
his
"I know
story,
about..."
bro.
Why are you such
Yeah. Okay, guys. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Say your prayers and stay blessed. Bye-bye. Peace out.